Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Conscious Business Connections brought to you by the New York City chapter of Conscious Capitalism. My name is Joe Laranjeiro and I'm joined today by Rowena Scherer, founder of eat2explore. Rowena, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Joe.
So to get us started, just give us an idea quickly as to what eat2explore is.
Okay, so I'm the founder and owner and CEO of eat2explore. So eat2explore is it's a food and culture explorer box. We want to bring families together to cook and taste and discover and learn about different country and culture and cuisines. So that's eat2explore in a gist.
Cool. How did you come about founding this organization? What was an origin story for you? We find that a lot of folks who are in deeply purposeful mission-based enterprises have this aha moment, this kind of life journey that brought them here. What has brought you to this?
So I'm originally from Malaysia, and I've had the luxury of coming to the United States and have a career in finance for a very, very long time. Travel a lot. I also had the luxury to do a culinary degree. The idea started actually when I did a cooking class with my family in Thailand, when they were 9 and 12. And we were doing a cooking class, and I turned around and my kids can't even dice an onion. They're like, what do I do with this? And that was sort of my aha moment where I said, I actually have failed as a mom for not introducing them to a life skill that they can use for the rest of their life. I mean, I grew up in Malaysia cooking with my mom and my sisters, and that's kind of our weekly routine. And because of that, I learned the skill set. And then when I came to the States, I did my culinary degree for the fun of it because I enjoy it. And also because I have the luxury of traveling and the passion of learning, I traveled to the world and I learned the cooking and all the cuisine and the spice. So at that moment was when I realized that, my kids who has the luxury of travel may not have the ability to cook together and the family connection when you do eat and cook and learn. I've been so busy with being a working mom. So that sort of formed an idea of, hey, there's an opportunity here to make it easy for family to gather around. Someone, dice an onion, another one, chop the garlic and then just cook a Moroccan meal at home and learn about Morocco and listen to the music. And there's so much, and then have a question about where Morocco is, where did the people come from? In the past, the world is so connected. Like one of it to explore thing is like meatballs. You have meatballs all over the world, right? Then you have meatballs in India, you have meatballs in China, you have meatballs in Italy. Like, what does it all mean? And so that's sort of my aha moment to say, just to really teach my kids first of all, and then teach other families and kids, and it is the best way to connect with the next generation. So that's sort of my aha moment, is when my kids can't even dice an onion. And then I said, enough is enough. I need to kind of follow my passion, which is food, kids, travel, and education. So that's how eat2explore started, the idea in spring of 2016.
I mean, now we used to have fast food. Now we have even faster food where everything is just delivered.
We should all slow down.
Pushing a button on your phone.
Exactly. Yeah. And also the technology these days, and kids, they're always on their phone, and adults is always on their phone. Then when you cook, you take a break. You have to put down your phone, right? Everyone has to use their hand to cook and dice and eat. And so, yeah.
Yeah, just a quick aside. I'm a big fan of the the late Anthony Bourdain shows, where he travels to different countries, explores different cultures and histories, using food as a vehicle to do it, and it's very effective. And a lot of people regarded his show very highly because of that.
One of them. It was very sad when he
yeah, it
passed
was
on.
indeed. I'm still watching his episodes now.
Oh, me too.
And actually I do it with my family. So it's like a family journey
The other
together.
thing about TV though, I want to also get to is since when I started 2016, I mean, kids are now more and more into food. They watch Food Network, they watch, kids chef competition. So there is also
Hmm.
it's like right time, right? Right time for kids and families to say, let's take food to the next level, not just watching, not just eating. Let's just learning to cook it and then use it to learn about culture, about country, about geography and history. There's so much. Yeah.
Yeah, and also patience and work, right? And
Yes.
structure,
Yes.
teamwork.
And teamwork, math, you know, science. Called what you're saying. You was just saying about yeah, it gets your hands to work.
Sure, sure. One of the tenets of conscious capitalism is higher purpose, and I think we've touched upon some of these things already. But in your own words, what are really some of the core fundamental issues that you're helping to solve?
So I always say our mission is to teach the next generation the connection of food and culture. That's our primary, purpose. And also that you can use food to learn and culture to learn geography and history. There's so much to learn about history and how a certain food come to this country because of all the immigrations and how did that immigration happen? Because historically, there's some event that happened that makes people move, so all that we teach them in our box indirectly. We provide all the materials and blogs, and it's more than just food. It's there's so many other content available on our website to teach the other subjects,
Hmm.
and that's our mission.
And we also talk about conscious culture a lot, and usually our culture conversations are from a business setting, business culture, not so much country cultures. What are benefits that children can, and even adults
Yeah,
can receive from learning about other cultures and other countries?
I think especially in today's world where we're so separated, that's that's an importance. I think it's more and more important for all of us, especially the next generation, to understand why people do certain things because culturally that's acceptable, right? Maybe culturally is not acceptable to us, but it is to them. And so it's good to be sensitive. And so knowing the origin as to why too helps. And I think I'm hoping that this is a way to do it
Yeah,
and make it a conversation among families, right?
sure.
like like we have our Lebanon box. It's all about Ramadan, so we teach them about Ramadan, where if you're Muslim, you fast for a month and then you cleanse, and but there's a reason for it, right? So it makes you a little bit more culturally sensitive if you come across a Muslim people during Ramadan, and that they don't eat, so you have to be a little conscious about not maybe gorging yourself in front of them, so that's the element as well, socially and culturally.
Right. And for children who learn this at home and then go to school or go to the sports teams and come across other kids from different backgrounds,
Yes,
it gives them a sense of connection, empathy, a conversational topic, which can really
we have
light.
many yeah we have many customers who told us their kids were so excited to do like a Japan because they have a Japanese family or a friend, and so then they cook and then they bring it to school to say I make this, and then at the same time learn about where he or she comes from and her culture and his culture. So it's great to introduce that to kids at young
Yeah.
age.
It humanizes people.
Yes.
It gives them, they're not just, some stranger, they're someone with a background, a history, a way of living that should be honored and respected. So totally get it. So thank you for that background. That's terrific. And we have a box there, which we'll get to in a minute, or towards the
Yes.
end, so we can show everyone what's actually in the box and what they get.
Yes.
Um, in terms of now actually managing and operating a business, right, separate from the actual product you deliver, um, what are some of the values or guiding principles that you manage eat2explore through and with?
So I'm a proponent of working mom, and I think family should always, you know, it's hard to juggle everything. And as a woman, you have to like work, and then if you have kids, you have to take care of kids, and then you have to make sure food isn't. So I do hire a lot of working moms who, and my business has always been remote. So with COVID, it actually doesn't hit me as much because I have people in Denver, whose husband is work with the it's actually a helicopter army in Bosnia right now, and so she's home with the two kids, and but she's amazing email marketer. And I have my social media market manager in Florida who has two children too. You know, I have everybody all over like Princeton, New Jersey, and I have someone in Malaysia. So there, it doesn't matter where I am. I can be here, which is where I am right now in Tuxedo Park. We left New York City and work out of my house here, and my office is here. My office and facility here is with my operation Trisha, who gave birth to Remy and couldn't find a job, and she's amazing. And she's have Remy. Remy grew up in my facility, and so that's another thing is that from business perspective, I has always been remote, and thank goodness with the technology these days I can. But everybody is amazing at what they're doing, but they just couldn't be working in a corporation where they have to be physically in the office 20, certain hours. The flexibility allows them to work. So
Yeah, and we hear a lot of that with the pandemic, where moms become not just caretakers for the home, caretakers for the children. They become teachers. They still have a job to maintain. And
exactly.
I've been reading a lot of studies on it. And what you offer is that sense of ultra flexibility. Um, that's really important. And it's great to hear. As a mom yourself, you could tell you have that
Oh, yeah.
same empathy and spirit.
And you just don't know if you have to like, suddenly a crying child, you're like, I have to call you back. Sure, just, and half the time, most of them really work when everyone's asleep, but it's done,
Mm.
so
That's
it doesn't
thank
matter
you.
how this delivered.
How many countries are you featuring right now?
So we have 19 countries, and it's an odd number because USA, we have two regions, North and South. We have two specialty box, and we're adding two new countries every year. So we will soon have 24 in about 8 months.
Is
No.
there a most popular country?
Um, so the way we kind of structure it is a little different. So you can explore a single country, or you can explore a continent, because I think it's important for people to learn about continents too, and learn what's in that continent, because you'll be surprised how even parents sometimes doesn't even know that this is the country in that continent. Um, and then the world, which is based on the featured country every month. So uh, popular ones are like France, Japan, Brazil, um, Greece. It's actually everything is different. And I would have people saying, I would never have thought I would like Ethiopia, and Ethiopia has great food. So I think all our customers now that they have tried, so we have like, a bundle of popular one, which is France and Brazil, and pretty much a lot of people tried it and say, I don't want to try the world. Um, and you just never know till you try it. It's really, that's the beauty of it. And in during pandemic too, when you kind of cook more and you're tired of your repertoire, this is a good way to kind of like spice it up with Lebanese food, or Chinese on your own and make it on your own, or Malaysia. In Singapore, we have a Singapore box, which is a very similar food as Malaysia. So that
Yeah,
they're all good.
a little
I'm
variety.
biased.
Um,
I'm biased.
sure. So with you just mentioned COVID and people at home. I think you're also moving into some city boxes as well, and perhaps some areas around wellness and charitable boxes. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So we have always big in charitable work, and I like to find charity that actually connects with what we're doing. And our very first one was last year, when we worked with Wellness in the School. They are a charity that started in New York with Nancy Easton, and Chef Bill Talapan. So it's a box called explore healthy eating, because wellness in the school, it's all about teaching public school kids the importance of wellness and healthy eating. And then they work with the cafeteria public school to provide a more rounded lunches for families and kids, for kids. So we started working with them last year, where 20% of our charity box, which is the Explore Healthy Eating, goes into wellness in the school. And this year we are working actually around the same time last year too. Yeah. So this year around the same time, we're actually doing a New York City box. It's a charitable, again, 20% goes to Rethink Food, NYC. It's all about reducing food waste and then feeding. The original idea is to feed homeless people in New York City, but now it has started during COVID, feeding the healthcare services. And these are restaurants, and actually the restaurant that's spearheading the feeding during COVID, and recruiting chefs to create meals to feed national the healthcare services people is actually Daniel Hum from 11 Madison Park. They have literally turned his kitchen into like a soup kitchen, and and we actually have photos of it. We will have a recipe from Daniel, and we will also have recipes from 2 other chefs. So it's a chef celebrating New York City chefs, celebrating New York, and at the same time, charity work of 20% goes to Rethink Food. So we're very excited. That should be launched in late October, mid to late October, before the holiday. It will be one of our holiday push.
I love the tie-in with food waste, the tie-in with food hunger, the tie-in with wellness, the tie-in with schools and students and nutrition. And you're covering a lot of core fundamental areas. So that's really encouraging to hear. Thank you for doing it. Let's dive into a box. So we got Greece there, it looks like, right?
We have Greece.
Yeah, let's do a quick unboxing. Go ahead.
Okay, unboxing. So this is Greece box. So it's all small, and we shipped all over. And I just realized we shipped to Guam recently. So this is the box like this. So it comes with 3 recipes. So the starting is always kind of like introducing the country. Oh, and then that's always about celebration. And this one, we just want to tell people the difference between Greek Easter and our Easter, so you understand why it's different. And then there's always some activity sheets that you can, in between meals, the kids can play, like doing word puzzles or language art, or a little science project. And here we have 3 recipes. So this is a chicken souvlaki, and which you can. So all our recipes can be gluten-free or vegetarian. Not all, majority of them. So you just need to buy a different, instead of chicken, you have vegetables, or instead of gluten bread, you have a gluten-free bread. And this is a Greek lamb burger, and then a Greek fish, baked fish, because they're big with fish. And all this can be like this one, instead of fish, you can make it cauliflower. So we have a vegetarian or optional boxes. And then it comes with, this is only spices, but it comes with like spices that makes the meal unique. And it comes with a flat pan, and always a fun tool, cooking tool, and a passport that you can track where you're going. And there's a shopping list. So the shopping list is easy for kids to just grab this, and either now they do online, but or go to a grocery store and just check and say, okay, how do I weigh the 2-pound whatever? It's a good way to teach them some also budgeting, right? So this is $20, go buy the grocery, and figure it out. And so that's math and science to it. And so this is Greece. I said we have 20 boxes, 20 countries right now. So this year we featured Peru and South Korea. And then next year we're doing Kenya and Sweden. Now, one question that you didn't ask that a lot of people ask me is, how do you pick your countries? it's always something connecting to me personally first. And for instance, South Korea, I actually worked in Korea for 4 years during the Asia crisis. So I love the cuisine. I actually learned a bit of a language. And Kenya is coming up. My husband grew up in Kenya. So we actually already have all the recipes ready for Kenya. And I have a few friends from Sweden here, and we're gonna do it together and make a Swedish box. So
That's great. Well, I'm from Portugal, so if you
oh,
want to
oh my
create a
God, I
Portuguese
love
box,
Lisbon. Oh, and there's a history to it, by the way. Malaysia was occupied by Portuguese for a period of time.
oh yeah, Portugal used to be a world power way back in the day. Hard to believe now. It's
And
mostly
then
known
Dutch,
for
and then
wine and
British.
soccer.
Well, but still, beautiful country.
Yeah,
I love to feature it at some point. I've been there. Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah, we could talk about that offline at some point. And I also noticed that the passport is really it's a journal, it's a diary, it's an
It's a
activity recorder.
diary. Unfortunately, it's not in this box, but it's a green, yeah, it's a diary where not just kids love to rate. It's like a badge, right? So they earn the badges of where they've been. Same like the flag pin. I want them to earn a badge of this is where the country I've been, and then rate the food. It's a fun way to sit down and say, what do you is it a 9 or a 7 or a 6? So that passport has all that. It's a rating and also a country exploration.
Yeah, it becomes a memory, right? A nostalgic object that you can keep for years and hold on to. So I really do like that, adding that personal touch to record the experience. I think that's really useful.
Right. Thank you.
So Rowena, where can folks go to learn more about eat2explore and order some of these boxes?
So we are available online at eat2explore.com. And we're also available on all social media. You can find us too. We are actually on Amazon subscription now, and Uncommon Goods. We have them too, but limited. So the most that you can get everything in, it's actually our website. Obviously, it's at eat2explore.com. And if your go-to is Amazon subscription has it too. Exactly the same box. We just started with Walmart as well, and also in Zulily and Craigjoy. So
Cool. Yeah, so that's
many places to get us.
so it's eat2explore EAT.
EAT, the number 2, explore EXPLORE.com.
Fantastic. Well, Rowena, thank you so much for taking us on a little bit of a global journey today.
Thank you so
Really
much for having me.
Yeah, of course. Appreciate you having you on. So I'd like to thank you, as well as our Conscious Capitalism in New York City chapter sponsors, the Core Club and the Tomiak Foundation, who support and make our programs possible. So Rowena, thank you again, and thank you everyone for watching, and we hope to see you on another episode of Conscious Business Connections.